When I married Ryan, I thought I had found my forever. We had been together for 4 years before tying the knot, and despite our ups and downs, I believed our love was unbreakable. He was charming, funny, and ambitious, qualities that made me fall for him. When I found out I was pregnant, I thought it would bring us closer. I imagined us decorating the nursery together, picking out baby names, and holding hands during ultrasound appointments. But things didn't go as planned. At first, Ryan was excited. He would touch my belly and talk about the future, promising to be the best father. But as my pregnancy progressed, his attitude started to change. The man I had loved for years was slowly becoming a stranger. Ryan started staying out late, claiming work was piling up. He became distant, snapping at me for the smallest things. If I asked him to help with something, he would sigh in frustration, as if I were a burden. "You're always complaining," he muttered one night when I asked him to help me reach something from the top shelf. "I'm 8 months pregnant, Ryan," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "I can't exactly climb on counters." He just rolled his eyes and went back to his phone. I tried to ignore the signs, telling myself that stress was making him act this way. Maybe he was overwhelmed about becoming a father. Maybe he needed time to adjust. But the truth was something much worse. One evening, as I sat alone in our dimly lit living room, Ryan's phone buzzed on the table. Normally, I wouldn't have looked, but something inside me told me to. I picked it up. A message from an unknown number. "I can't wait to see you again tonight. Are you sure your wife won't find out?" My heart stopped. My hands trembled as I scrolled through the messages. There were dozens, flirty conversations, intimate details, and plans for their next meetup. Tears burned my eyes as reality crashed down on me. My husband, the father of my unborn child, was cheating on me. I felt numb. When he came home that night, I confronted him, hoping, praying, that he would deny it, that there was some explanation. But he didn't. Instead, he smirked. "You're being dramatic," he said, tossing his jacket onto the couch. "I didn't plan on staying with you forever anyway." His words stabbed me like a knife. "Ryan, I'm carrying your child." I cried. "And? That doesn't mean I have to stay trapped with you," he said coldly. "Maybe if you weren't so boring, I wouldn't have had to find someone else." I couldn't breathe. The man I had loved for years, the father of my baby, was looking at me like I was nothing. And then he said the words that changed everything. "You need to leave." I blinked, thinking I had misheard him. "What?" I whispered. "I said get out," he repeated, his voice void of any emotion. "I don't want you here anymore." I looked around the home we had built together, my stomach heavy with the weight of our child. "Ryan, I have nowhere to go. I'm 8 months pregnant." "Not my problem," he said, grabbing his keys. "Be gone by the time I get back." And with that, he walked out the door. I collapsed onto the floor, sobbing. How could he do this to me? I had given him everything, my love, my trust, my future, and he discarded me like I was nothing. I had no job, no savings, and nowhere to go. And I was about to bring a child into the world. I sat there for hours, feeling broken. But then, something inside me snapped. I couldn't afford to wallow in pain. I was going to be a mother. And if Ryan didn't want to be a part of our lives, then so be it. I called my best friend, Lisa, and told her everything. Within minutes, she was at my house, helping me pack my things. "You don't need him," she said firmly. "We'll figure this out together." I moved in with Lisa, and over the next few weeks, I rebuilt myself. I applied for jobs, reached out to support groups, and prepared for my baby's arrival. I refused to let Ryan's betrayal define me. And then, karma came knocking. Ryan's life fell apart faster than I expected. Turns out, the woman he had left me for wasn't as loyal as he thought. She drained his bank account, maxed out his credit cards, and left him when he was drowning in debt. And then he lost his job. With no savings and no wife, Ryan's once perfect life crumbled. One day, he showed up at my doorstep. His face was gaunt, his clothes wrinkled. He looked like a man who had lost everything. "I made a mistake," he whispered. "I need you back." I looked at him, holding my newborn son in my arms. I had moved on. "You kicked me out when I was 8 months pregnant, Ryan," I said calmly. "You made your choice." "But..." I cut him off. "You abandoned your family. Now, we don't need you anymore." And with that, I closed the door in his face. Raising a baby alone wasn't easy. There were sleepless nights, financial struggles, and moments when I felt like I couldn't do it. But I did. I found a stable job, built a life for myself, and most importantly, I gave my son a loving home. Ryan tried to come back multiple times, but I never let him. Because I finally realized my own worth. I wasn't a weak, abandoned woman anymore. I was a mother. A fighter. And I was unstoppable. Moral of the story: sometimes, losing someone is the best thing that can happen to you. A mother's strength is unbreakable. Karma always comes full circle.